Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's your favorite dream drive here. And we're about to dive into the adventures of supercars. You know folks, I've been lucky enough to drive some of the most beautiful, most powerful, most expensive cars in the world. But today we're taking a detour. We're going off the beaten path into the wacky, the weird, the downright strange world of automobiles. That's right folks, we're talking about the cars that make you scratch your head and say, what were they thinking? The cars that were built for a very specific purpose, or maybe no purpose at all. The cars that, despite their quirks, or maybe because of them, have earned a special place in automotive history. So buckle up, get ready for a laugh, and let's explore the fascinating world of the strangest cars ever made. And before we proceed, please like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, I've parked some pretty small cars in this garage, but nothing quite like this. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Peel P50, and it holds the Guinness World Record for the smallest production car ever made. This thing is tiny. It's just over 4 feet long and under 4 feet wide. You could park it in your living room, assuming your door is big enough. The P50 was designed and built on the Isle of Man in the 1960s, and it was marketed as a city car, perfect for zipping through traffic and squeezing into tight parking spaces. Now it only has 3 wheels, 2 in the front and 1 in the back, and it's powered by a tiny 49cc engine that produces a whopping, get this, 4.2 horsepower. Top speed, about 38 miles per hour downhill with a tailwind. But hey, who needs speed when you can literally pick up your car and carry it inside? That's right, the P50 even has a handle on the back so you can just pick it up and wheel it around like a piece of luggage. Now that's what I call convenient. You know folks, they say you can't have your cake and eat it too. But whoever they are, they clearly never met the Amphicar Model 770. This car is a true go-anywhere, do-anything machine. Why? Because it's both a car and a boat. That's right, this baby can cruise down the highway and then seamlessly transition to sailing across a lake. Now the Amphicar was the brainchild of German engineer Hans Trippel, who had a vision of a vehicle that could conquer both land and water. It was produced in the 1960s and became quite the novelty. Even President Lyndon B. Johnson owned one. He was known to play pranks on unsuspecting passengers, driving them straight into his ranch's lake. It's powered by a 1,147cc Triumph Herald engine that drives the rear wheels on land and a pair of propellers in the water. Now, it's not exactly fast, topping out at about 7 knots on water and 70 miles per hour on land. But that's not the point, is it? The Amphicar is all about the freedom to explore, to go wherever your heart desires, be it a winding road or an open lake. Chapter 3. The BMW Isetta, a bubble of innovation. You know, after World War II, resources were scarce in Europe. People needed affordable, fuel-efficient transportation, and that's where this little fella comes in, the BMW Isetta. Now, this isn't your typical BMW, it's a microcar, and it's about as cute as a button. They called it the bubble car, and for good reason. The Isetta was designed by an Italian refrigerator company, believe it or not, and BMW licensed the design and started producing it in Germany in 1955. It was an instant hit. The whole front of the car hinged open like a refrigerator door, and you steered with handlebars instead of a traditional steering wheel. It was powered by a tiny motorcycle engine, but it got incredible gas mileage, something like 70 miles per gallon. The Isetta became a symbol of practicality and innovation in post-war Europe, and it's a reminder that sometimes the most unusual designs can be the most brilliant. Chapter 4, the DeLorean DMC-12. Back to the future and back to the drawing board. If you're a child of the 80s like me, then you know this car from the iconic Back to the Future movies. The DeLorean DMC-12. This car is a head-turner, no doubt about it. With those gull-wing doors and that brushed stainless steel body, it looks like it drove straight out of a science fiction film. John DeLorean, a former General Motors executive, had a vision for an ethical sports car, and he poured his heart and soul into this project. The DMC-12 was supposed to be a game-changer, but unfortunately, it was plagued with production problems and financial woes. Despite its short-lived production run, the DeLorean DMC-12 achieved cult status, thanks in no small part to its starring role in the Back to the Future franchise. It's a car that represents big dreams, bold ideas, and, well, maybe a little bit of time travel fantasy. Chapter 5, the Reliant Robin 3 wheels, 2 lanes, zero shame. Now, this next car, well, it's got a bit of a reputation. This is the Reliant Robin, and it's, shall we say, unique. It's a 3-wheeled car with 2 wheels in the front and 1 in the back, and it's known for its, let's call it, interesting handling characteristics. The Reliant Robin was designed and built in the UK, and it was marketed as a cheap and cheerful mode of transportation. It was classified as a motorcycle, which meant lower taxes and cheaper insurance, making it an attractive option for budget-conscious drivers. Now, the Robin has been the butt of many jokes over the years, mostly because of its tendency to tip over, especially when taking corners a little too enthusiastically. But you know what? I kind of admire its quirkiness. It's a car that doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's always good for a laugh. Well, there you have it, folks, a glimpse into the wild and wonderful world of some of the strangest cars ever made. From the tiny Peel P50 to the amphibious Amphicar, these cars prove that automotive ingenuity knows no bounds. Sure, they might not be the fastest, the most practical, or even the prettiest cars on the road, but they all have one thing in common. They're unique, they're memorable, and they remind us that sometimes it's okay to be a little different. Thanks for joining us on this wild ride through automotive history. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more amazing car stories from Jay Leno's Garage.